The DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced is not your typical consumer drone. Yes, you can capture aerial imagery to share with your friends and family, and you could probably create some pretty impactful content with it. But the fact is, this drone has one very specific purpose, and that's to make you money. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Russ, and today I want to show you some of the ways that the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced can be used to start your very own drone business and earn you more money than you ever thought you could with a drone. If you haven't seen my first video about the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, I advise that you watch that first. It has a lot of valuable information for those of you that want to learn all about this amazing tool. I'll link it right up here in the note cards, and I'll put a link for it down in the video description as well. This video is going to discuss just a few ways that even the most novice drone pilot can earn revenue with the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. I will tell you that what it comes down to, just like anything, is how much effort you put into it. If you are serious about becoming independent and earning significant revenue, you need to lay the groundwork and put in the time. People aren't going to just come to you right away. You need to show them what you can do. It's not like, hey, I have a thermal drone over here. I can get thermal stuff for you. It doesn't work like that. You have to lay the groundwork. So my recommendation is the first method of obtaining money-earning missions is to register with one of the many drone service providers that are online. There's Dronebase, DroneUp, and there are a lot of them out there, but those are some of the most popular ones. Now, I've used Dronebase for a couple of years, and it could not be more easy to get jobs. Depending on your market, you could start earning money in just a few days. And then this is also a good way to start building your portfolio. After you get a couple of missions in there and you start earning a little bit of money, you really get a taste for it, plus you get a little more experience. And then the next level would be to offer aerial inspections. Realistically, you could run an entire business on just that, doing rooftop and HVAC inspections. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you is a typical rooftop inspection for a company like Dronebase or any of those other companies. And oftentimes you'll get a roof inspection request. And so this is kind of how it goes. So you'll get a request and they'll give you the address and then they'll tell you the price. And you can accept the price or you can refuse the price. And if you refuse the price and no one else takes the job, they'll come back and offer a better price. And eventually you'll come down to an agreeable price. And then you'll get to read the scope of the mission, actually get to read the scope ahead of time. But anyway, so this is a typical roof inspection, and this is how it's gonna go for an insurance company or maybe a contractor or whatever. But what they want when you're inspecting a roof, they want every possible angle that you can get. And so they want 45-degree angle shots, they want bird's eye view shots, they want a lateral shot, they want it from every direction, almost like a clock. And so what you would typically do is take a photograph. So right now, this is a new construction. This is the new hospital being built in our community. And this is the rooftop, one of the rooftops of it. And let's say there's a hailstorm or something like that, or let's say there's some type of wind damage or whatever. And so there's going to be an insurance claim. And so they're going to want evidence of all of the damages. And so they would hire you, they would agree on a price, whether it be through Dronebase. I should say Dronebase or any of those other ones. They're not going to give you as good of a price as if you went directly to the insurance agent or to the contractor or anything like that. The benefit of going through one of those third parties is that there's more jobs available. You don't have to do much work. They find you. But anyway, so this is kind of how it's going to go. So I'm just going to snap photographs starting from this position right here. And then I'm just going to overlap them. I'm going to overlap about 20%. I'm just going to keep snapping photographs, just like so. And then we're going to make sure that we get the end of the rooftop too. And then we're going to go around from the end and get a shot here. And I'm not going to do this whole thing just because I don't want this video to get too long, but I'm just kind of showing you an example of how you would take these photographs. And that's the other cool thing about rooftop inspections, you guys. There isn't any video involved, so you don't have to fly around and record video and worry about any of that. Most of the time, people are just going to want photographs because they're going to want to look at them closely, and they just want that aerial view. That's why I think it's just so easy to get started with rooftop inspections. Now here's another one they're going to want. Everyone always wants a bird's eye, and then they're going to be able to zoom in and see what that bird's eye view of that rooftop looks like. So I'm just going to fly along the rooftop here and just take photographs from the top. Typically you want these to be centered. I didn't center that one. And just like that. Now they're also going to want a wide angle shot to kind of show what it looks like, you know, from all directions, but at a wider angle and a higher angle. So typically those are 45-degree angles as well. Okay, so there's an example of that. And now the other one that most people want, most insurance companies especially, is they want a really close look at the side of the roof. So you want to get in nice and close. Typically they want about 20 feet away maximum, so you can get a nice detailed look at a side-on view of the rooftop. So I'll just snap a couple of photographs here so you guys can get an idea what that looks like. And we'll just take one more, okay? And that's it, you guys. That's how easy this is. And typically for a job like this, you're gonna make anywhere from $100 to $200 for doing that job. And for, you know, like Dronebase, all you have to do is hop on Dronebase, upload those photographs, and they take care of everything for you. They'll send you a check 24 hours after everything has been uploaded and they've accepted it. So, like I said, look at that. It could not be any more easier to do rooftop inspections. Now, if you're gonna do this, you know, directly through the contractor or through the insurance company, you're probably gonna have to do a little bit of editing. They might want you to zoom in or crop or whatever like that. But again, that still doesn't take a whole lot of work, and you're gonna get paid a lot more doing it that way as well. So yeah, so there's a super easy rooftop inspection that pretty much anybody can do. When it comes to conducting thermal inspections with the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, for someone just getting started, once again, I would recommend missions related to rooftop inspections. HVAC is one of the most frequently requested jobs for thermal applications because of the information that can be instantly provided to the technicians. As a relatively newer commercial drone pilot, you may not understand what you are looking at, but there are technicians that can analyze the data and know exactly what the status of that unit or that rooftop is. Yes, you can take aerial thermography courses to help you become more skilled. For instance, FLIR offers the Infrared Training Center course, which can be done online or in person over 4 days, and the cost is just under $2,000. Yes, that sounds expensive, but the money you can earn as a certified thermography pilot would easily pay that off. Hey, it's a business expense, write it off. So with the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, you can capture thermal photos or video. Now here are some examples of some commercial rooftop HVAC units that I took. The variations in color determine the different temperatures. You can also zoom in to get a closer look at the specific areas of the units without flying your drone too close. To further analyze these images, you can use the DJI Thermal Analysis tool to get detailed data to share. Now here's an example of a residential rooftop in my neighborhood. This home is an old cabin that has sort of a large dormer on top, and you can see here how much heat is being lost out the top of this roof. The homeowner probably has no idea how inefficient their roof is. It's things like this that you can use the thermal sensor on the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced for. And another huge opportunity is for those of you that live near solar farms. The speed at which you could analyze acres of solar panels is incredible. Now, I don't have any near where I live, but if I did, I would be calling those guys right away to see if they need an aerial thermography assistance. Thermal is so much fun, you guys, and there's so much money to be earned out there. So how do you get these jobs? Well, good old-fashioned pounding the pavement and knocking on doors. Visit contractors, insurance agents, building managers, city managers, friends that work in industries like oil and gas, electrical, and much more. My advice is to find an insurance agent that is willing to work with you and start getting some experience under your belt. And if you can't get anyone's attention or interest right away, then conduct a few inspections for people that you know. So then you can build a library of missions that can be used to demonstrate what you have to offer. In my opinion, rooftop inspections is the #1 way to start your very own drone business because relatively, it takes less time, it provides a service that so many people need, and it's never going to go away. And once you establish a good client base, those people are always going to stick with you. Another relatively new way that a drone like the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced can be used is for wildlife conservation and management. For decades, most agencies have used fixed-wing aircraft or helicopters for operations like population data, migration, habitat analysis, and much more. Although flying manned aircraft works, it's also very inefficient and costly. Flying a plane is not cheap, plus the manpower that's required to do manual assessments adds up very fast. With a drone like the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, many of these operations could be conducted in a fraction of the time at all hours of the day with minimal labor cost. So what I did is I attempted several times to reach out to our state wildlife agencies to visit with them about the use of drones like the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced for their operations. Nobody really seemed interested. I did finally visit with one individual at the state level who told me that using a drone for what they do just isn't reasonable right now due to current regulations, mostly related to line of sight. They need to cover several miles at a time for surveys, and current drone rules related to visual line of sight do not allow that. Now, when I brought up things like habitat surveys and foliage mapping, he immediately dismissed that. And when I told him that the commercial drone industry is getting very close to beyond visual line of sight capabilities, and that you can now fly a UAV at night, so thermal capabilities are more useful, he continued to deflect. So I brought up the fact that drones could be used for enforcement, such as responding to poaching reports. And he kind of responded a little bit, and he referred me to another state official. I reached out to that person a few times, and I still haven't gotten a response. So I have to say I've been pretty disappointed with my local officials in the wildlife and management arena, but that's not going to stop me from trying. Another way that the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced could be useful is for deterring wildlife from an area that you don't want them to be. The loudspeaker attachment could be used to broadcast noises or music or even the sounds of predatory birds to keep animals away from something, say, like an oil spill. You don't want animals coming in and getting full of oil. You could scare away the birds, you could scare away all of the animals just with that loudspeaker on the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. Here's an interesting statistic. Do you know what the #1 cause of death to wildlife biologists is? It's helicopter and plane crashes. The use of a drone would eliminate every single one of those fatalities. There are so many use cases in the fish and wildlife arena for this drone, and I'm going to continue to reach out and find the right person that has a listening ear. So what could you do personally? Well, you could very easily start a thermal drone service website, and you could advertise your service to local wildlife chapters. Most communities have local chapters of things like Pheasants Forever, the Turkey Federation, there's varmint hunting groups, and so much more. I would arrange to visit their meetings and bring your drone with because they would love to see that and show them what you can do. Those varmint guys would eat that stuff up. But I do advise that you check with local and state rules regarding the use of drones for any sort of hunting or anything related to hunting because they can be quite restrictive. But there's definitely opportunity there. Another opportunity that the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced offers is the ability to contribute to your local first responder organization. Fire and rescue and law enforcement in smaller communities would love to have something like this drone, or someone that has one and can use it properly. Many organizations have grants available to them that can assist with the purchase of and the training for a drone like the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. There aren't too many small towns that are going to plop down up to 25 grand for a fully loaded thermal capable matrice, but under 7 grand is within reason. And that can give providers the power that they need to save property as well as lives. So I sat down with our local rural fire chief and I had a conversation about the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. All right, so you've seen the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. I brought it over here the other day and I've showed you what it's capable of. Do you think that's something that your department could find useful?
Oh, I believe that we could use that in many different ways.
Yeah?
Lost people,
Yeah?
big, large fires where we don't have access to, hundreds of things that can get us to where we can't go with trucks.
Sure.
So
your rural fire department, so the majority of your fires are out in the open.
Yep.
They're huge. And with the limited manpower that you have, it'd be, I would think, so beneficial to have an eye in the sky, kind of showing where, little flares pop up or whatever.
it would be a huge time saver.
Yeah.
We could send that rather than a vehicle with 2-3 people in it.
Right.
And maybe not even have to have a truck going over that way.
Right, and probably some places that you can't even drive because of the terrain.
Exactly.
You know, that's the other thing. I mean, you still would have to get there,
Yep.
you know, to put out the fire, but at least you kind of have a better idea of the pathway. So
It would be a huge benefit.
Yeah.
Also on the tank farms, should they have a fuel fire or something,
Oh, sure.
we're not going to send a body up there. We'd rather just send a piece of equipment up there.
right.
So that would be very beneficial.
Yeah, yeah. Do you get a lot of like agricultural type fires, like, you know, like elevators or, you know, grain bins or equipment or anything like that?
A lot of farm equipment goes up.
Okay.
Combines are the biggest player in.
And then that probably starts the field on
that
fire.
starts the field on fire. And
Okay.
then of course we have the winds that
Yeah,
push it very fast.
like today.
Yeah. So
We kind of talked about it a little bit before, but do you know, is there grant monies available for departmental headquarters to get equipment like this, like the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced?
I believe there are some. I haven't heard a lot of them, but
Okay.
We will be researching that as time provides.
Sure.
Hopefully we slow down a little bit this
Yeah.
winter
Yeah.
and have time to do some of that stuff. But
Yeah.
being a volunteer department, we don't have a whole lot of time the way it is, and just
Right.
keeping everything running.
Right, because you only have like a couple of actual full-time and paid employees.
Correct.
The rest of your staff is volunteer.
Volunteer. Yep.
Yeah, so the funding is pretty limited.
Yep.
But I think, you know, I've seen other departments have, where there's been opportunities to purchase equipment like thermal tech. I know that that you do use some thermal technology. You have a
Yep.
camera, right?
We have
Yeah.
cameras.
Okay. So that'd be pretty cool, but it'd be pretty nice to have it from above. you know?
Above.
Yeah.
Yep. And the speed and time that would save.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, manpower, efficiency, just everything. Thanks for taking the time, Rex.
not a problem.
You bet.
Not a problem.
The Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced really is the perfect entry-level commercial drone. When you look at everything that it can do for the price, it wouldn't take long at all to recoup your initial investment. There are countless ways that this drone could be used to earn revenue. Now, I've shown you just a few of them here, but the only thing limiting your earning potential is your imagination. My advice is to sit down and research what opportunities you have in your community and see if you can fill a need with this drone. And if you can, then run the numbers to see if the investment would be worth your time. $6,500 is a lot of money, yes, but with some careful planning and persistence, you could pay that off very quickly. It's so easy to start a drone business right now, you guys. You could get a small business loan if needed. You could start a website. You could flood social media because that's where it's at right now. You can knock on doors and start working for yourself instead of someone else. I don't know about you, but that sounds very appealing to me. So comment any questions that you have about the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, and I'll answer as many of them as I possibly can. Click on that thumbs up button if I provided you with any valuable information today. Subscribe to the channel to join this community. Thank you for watching the entire video, and as always, fly safe and fly smart.